All right, you can go for it whenever you want to.
Okay, so let me hit present. So my restaurant is called Thai Lao, and I chose to go with the Asian cuisine. I live in South Dallas, so it's something that I don't really see too often. Is a lot of Thai food. So that would be pretty much the selling point of my market and demographic is just there wouldn't be too much competition as far as variety, um, unless you're going into the inner city and that's just more fine dining. But the restaurant itself would just be casual, would be the dining service, and then we would go to the menu. So the menu, I would have my starters would be egg rolls served with a sweet and sour sauce. I'd serve shrimp spring rolls with a peanut sauce, chicken lettuce wraps with a house sauce. And then the main course would be the only thing different on this menu that would stand out would be the baked salmon. You don't traditionally see that in Thai restaurants, but it's a recipe
Yeah.
that I've seen a few places around the
Hmm.
world. Um, and then a Thai curry would be another main entree, and all these would be served with steamed rice. And we do lemongrass skewers for the last main entree, and the desserts would consist of mango sorbet, banana lumpia, and coconut creme brulee.
Nice.
So I've done a lot of research on the a lot of restaurants, just eating at a lot of places. So these prices seem to be pretty fair. Um, as far as going back into demographics and who'd be able to afford this, it's pretty much attainable by anyone in any income bracket. So that's something that I would like to appeal to people as well. Pretty much just since it's only 9 items, I like keeping it just linear, simple to read, easy on the eyes.
Yeah. I
Um,
my suggestion on just that on the pricing. Do you see how where let's say the chicken lettuce wrap? Do you see how it says house sauce down at the bottom?
yeah, sure.
I if you could make the price that size where it says, the size where it says house sauce, that would be a little bit better because it doesn't like spotlight it, the price is just a touch smaller, so where it doesn't catch your eye as much.
Absolutely. I see that. Yeah.
That's
Thank you.
the only thing I would change when it comes to the menu. But it looks good. Good job.
Okay. I appreciate that.
Good.
Um, so that would consist of the menu and then the I don't know if I can share from here the costing. Let's see. So for the costing card, the costing sheet, I'll just use the baked salmon for example. Pretty much what I'm looking at here is, the Excel document. It's going to calculate your 30% food cost at its own with that formula. But the big thing I keep in mind here is just logistics of my dry goods and how much is going to remain in that container over time. And pretty much what I mean by that is that's where you see a lot of money get lost, is knowing how much to order for future orders as far as your dry goods and your case counts. So doing that math and weighing all that, your 0.13 of a pound or half a container, those add up. And from my experience, I was a chef on a submarine, so I did a lot of food orders around the world, and that's really where it gets you is those logistics, as far as maintaining your counts, making sure everything's right, and then you're hitting your bottom line, but also exceeding your profit margin, but meeting your 30% requirement.
Good job. Way to go. Thank you.
That's it. No worries.
You
Thank
did.
you.
You're done.
All right. Thank you, Chef.
Thank you. Nice.
All right, I will start sharing my screen. Sorry, I apparently need to change one of my system preferences because my security is too locked down and it wants me to log out to do that. Can one
Okay,
person?
that's
I'm so
fine.
I can go ahead of her so that she
Yeah,
has
that's
time
fine.
to do hers.
Yeah, that's fine. No
Thank you,
worries.
Artie. Sorry about that.
No
Hey,
problem.
it's all good. It's all good. Go for it. Take your time, Heidi. I know you're gonna have to.
Can everyone see that?
Yes.
Awesome. Let me introduce you to Midnight Reverie. This is a high-end bar. It's also known as a gastropub because our mission statement is actually to renew the bar scene with higher quality, classically styled food that is paired with kindred alcohol, aka alcohol that goes really well with the palate. If you have some heavy food, you have very light alcohol to kind of ease out your palate so you can enjoy the food more. And it's also coming from local suppliers along with locally brewed liquor. And I have a couple different liquor companies I've looked into, but for the purpose of this project, I won't go too far into that. My demographics is that it will be in San Antonio, Texas, with a target audience of individuals aged 30 to 40. This is actually based on market research from current existing speakeasies. This is actually a 20s themed bar, but the difference with this bar is that the food is better quality and it's actually very unique and specific to the time period in that this bar is based, the 20s theme. Looking at my menu, you can actually see I used a lot of 1920s slang to also tie my menu into the theme of the restaurant.
I like that. I like how you did that.
Hotsy Totsy's actually means perfect. It was a normal slang to refer to something that is perfect, which is a very great word to use towards appetizers, which are meant to whet the palate, get you ready to either drink or to eat more. Using this menu list, you can actually notice a lot of things that are somewhat familiar, but also somewhat different. A hot brown, for instance, if you're from the South, you've probably heard of before. It was actually created in the 1920s, which is why I chose it. It was created at the Brown Hotel in the 1920s. And this is a little bit different of a version of it, since it does have very modern ingredients used with it. And of course, you also see homestyle mac and cheese, which has been popular forever. Very classic comfort food, which also pairs well with liquor since it's heavy. It helps you absorb that alcohol. And then the olive burger sliders, which was actually really common on Coney Island in the 1920s as well. All of these items were actually things you could find on a 1920s menu. So that was a lot of why I chose these items.
That's awesome. I like that.
Sorry, I'm like a little nervous. So I'm probably stuttering a little bit.
No, you're doing great.
Then let me go ahead and switch you to right here are my costing sheets.
You might need to, oh, there you go. Okay.
Right here are my costing sheets. So there's a lot of menu items on my menu. As you can tell, I've actually done more than 9. But on this costing sheet, to do like a quick lowdown, you have some modern ingredients such as soy sauce and Worcestershire sauce, which were not used as commonly in the 1920s, but were around. The 1920s, there was the beginning of what they used as Oriental, what we would call Asian food. And that was actually the beginning of when Asian food started to come into the US. So I actually included some soy sauce in there to kind of add in a little extra savory element to this burger. And as you can tell, the menu price recommended here for the food cost of 30% is actually only $23.65. And I went with 25 just to keep the numbers simple and also to kind of highlight different items to make different items seem more appealing by having those different pricings. There's a lot of items on here, so I'll just kind of touch on them all quickly. The hot brown we have here, once again, very modern items, but using this traditional recipe. This is actually a sub recipe because I use turkey in multiple items, as well as this one, I also use turkey. So I try to use a lot of repeating items, but using them in a different way so that the customer doesn't feel bored by the fact that I have 2 turkey items on there. But at the same time, it's keeping my food costs down because I'm able to use multiple items in multiple dishes. Same with the mushroom croquette. It's actually my vegetarian option on my menu so that I'm able to apply to that wider demographic while also using an item I've already used in another dish, my stuffed mushrooms, which was a very popular appetizer in the 1920s. That was the Prohibition era when they started having very small food items to eat alongside, as you can see on my menu,
That's awesome.
giggly water, which was actually a 1920s term for alcohol to kind of hide that they were drinking alcohol.
I love it. You did a great job.
That's most of, actually, I tried to make sure I talked about the recipe process, which is going over the pricing process, and then just taking one last look at my menu. I actually used some menu engineering here. I used a different, can you see my cursor?
Yes.
I actually use an Art Deco form right here to highlight my liquor, which is actually in most bars where I make my money. So I wanted to put this here as well, in addition to highlighting my sweets with a text box to kind of give them a spotlight on buying the dessert items, which are also more profitable because they're priced higher than they actually cost me to sell. And of course, as you can tell with my menu, I use menu engineering to make my prices smaller and my actual items larger. So a customer is looking at the item before they're looking at the price. They're looking at, oh man, some stuffed mushrooms, that sounds really good, versus focusing on this $8 right here.
Yeah. Great job.
Thank you, Chef.
Thank you.
Okay, it should work now.
Okay.
Heidi, that was amazing.
Yeah, you did great. Thank you.
It was really cute.
Thank
I would
you.
totally drink at your bar.
Oh, I'm happy to hear that.
Okay, so you guys should be able to see the screen now.
Yep. We can see it.
And I'm gonna put it on black. Okay, so the concept for me is actually something that I have been working on for a while. I was a professional coach and my business was called Limonada Fresca because I was teaching people how to turn life's lemons into lemonade. And it's actually a drink that I used to drink when I was a kid and I loved it. And what I want to start doing is having these private dinner parties. So my restaurant is a private dinner party experience. Less of like a brick and mortar restaurant and more of a go to a special venue and sit down for like a multiple course meal. So the price on this prefix menu though is really hefty, as you'll see, because the one of the ingredients that I hope to use in states where it's legal is cannabis. So I do enjoy cooking with cannabis. I think it's something really beautiful, nice plant. It's a spice. If you really think about it, it's got terpenes, it's got different elements that interact with food, and it's something that I've kind of fallen in love with. So maybe a move to Colorado is in the works. Who knows? We'll see what happens in Texas. But for the menu, for my demographic, this particular party was designed with working professional women in mind, probably ages 30 through maybe 45. And the reason for this is that once I started pricing everything out, I realized I'm going to have to be really innovative if I want to reduce costs, because the cannabis, creating like homemade butters and infusions, it's so expensive. And actually, I think Ayana ran into the same issue.
Yeah.
It's so you really, I think for what I am going to have to do, it's going to have to be a luxury experience for now. I do want to find a way to innovate, because I don't think the way that I look at cannabis isn't purely recreational. It's medicinal, and I want to find a way to make it accessible to other people, especially anyone who has any health ailments. I have an autoimmune disease. And I get really intense migraines.
Mhm.
And it's been really incredible helping me, experimenting and helping me with that. So, and it's, does wonders for PTSD. So let's get into the menu. Each of these items is actually inspired, and I'm a little bit disappointed in myself. I wasn't able to fit it in the menu. And that's kind of like a lesson that I learned. Each item is inspired by a particularly iconic female. So we have the like the brown sugar bacon wrapped scallops are an amuse bouche, which is like a little small bite just to like tantalize your taste buds. That is inspired by Josephine Baker, because she was really, big and popular in Paris and in the jazz era. But I think she's from Georgia or Mississippi. She's from the country. So I liked bringing the two things together. And that's kind of the whole concept of the entire dinner, is bringing things together that seem like they don't go together, and finding how they can complement each other. So we've got the amuse bouche to begin, the gazpacho shooters to kind of start people off with something cool and refreshing, kind of just zap their taste buds really quick. And then we go into something savory with the bacon wrapped scallops. Then we do a little something crisp and refreshing with the watermelon. And then we cleanse the palate with the honey, lemon, and thyme sorbet. After that, we go into the mains, and the mains are they're hearty portions. They're not in like, it's not a full size dinner, because you're getting all of these courses. So it's a tasting menu. But they are more hearty, and we'll look at the costing sheet, and that was where things really got expensive. And one thing I really liked about Kyle and Heidi's presentation is that they really thought about how to incorporate ingredients into other recipes. And I need to do a better job of that, because I have ADD and I just want everything to be different. And that makes it incredibly expensive and sometimes wasteful. And I've hosted a dinner party before where I've personally experienced this. And when I did my costing sheets, I was like, this is where you end up really struggling. So creativity is my jam. The money thing, I'm pretty good at when it comes to like marketing and all that stuff. But I combine the art and the money, I struggle. So I might be one of those people who needs to hire someone to do that for me, because I'm stubborn.
But
So
but the good thing is that you acknowledge that, right? You see that. So that's the good thing. Good job.
yeah, and I want
For
to
sure.
figure it out. So we go to the mains, and we've got a nice little quail leg. It's crispy, it's lemony. The particular infusion that I choose to go with it has lemon terpenes, and I think that's something I could have incorporated more into the menu. I didn't really talk about the cannabis at all on the menu, and I think it's because I have so much to say about each flavor profile that the menu would have been pages long. I think what I'll end up doing is, if I serve a dinner like this, I'm going to have to present kind of like Top Chef, when you see and they explain the dish before serving it. That's going to be something I need to do, because otherwise it's just going to be really overwhelming for people. So I tried to keep it simple. So we've got the quail legs. We've got a ribeye steak inspired by Frida Kahlo, because it has two different sauces. It's got the chimichurri, and it's got a cranberry hibiscus, kind of representative of her painting Dos Fridas. And then we've got at the bottom, we've got the unwind, which is can of cocktails and cakes. You get the Beautiful Mistake, which is actually a sponge cake I've made for my son. That I don't have a hand mix. I don't have a stand mixer, and I tried to meringue. Um, you know, when you're making cake, you have to meringue the batter to get it fluffy to make be a sponge. And I try to do it by hand. It's pretty much impossible. But I love that it's designed to fail. It's you have to fail to succeed in this one. Because when the cake collapsed, when I baked it, it actually ended up being really tasty. So, and my son named that dish. He was like, "It's a beautiful mistake, Mom." So I was like, "Oh my God, I love you. Thank you." And then we have the artist is present. It's inspired by Marina Abramovich. She's an artist. Limonada Fresca, and I only drink champagne by Coco Chanel because she only drinks champagne. So now, real quick, we can go into the costing because I don't want to take up too much time. I want to be respectful of everybody else's time. Let me pull up one of the sheets so I can show you guys just how crazy this got. And I think it's a really good lesson to be learned because it just shows me like I need to be a little bit more responsible with some of my ingredients. Like the quail eggs has morel mushrooms in it. I didn't know how expensive morel mushrooms were until I went to go try to buy them.
They are expensive.
They're so expensive and very hard to find. So for the apricot quail legs are small and they're not super satiating. So if I were to put this on a restaurant menu, people would probably laugh or be angry because it would be a $42 plate at a minimum, according to the math here. And that is something that I really want to think about because they still, even though there's cannabis in it, that can't be the crutch. People still want to be satisfied. Like they still want to feel satiated, especially if they're eating a lot of cannabis, because they're going to get the munchies as they go on. So if they don't start feeling full, they're going to start feeling disappointed. With this, like the quail got expensive. The butter you can see, I've priced that out before. It's $125 a pound. Usually, it kind of depends on what you get, and that adds up. So the other thing that I'll need to figure out if I actually pursue this as a business venture is the dosage. I don't want to overdose anybody. And I want to definitely be able to incorporate, like here in Austin, we can't use THC products, but I could do CBD oils. So we could do things that are still beneficial for health without the psychoactive ingredients. So I do want to start looking into that and experimenting in that space. But I think overall, what I learned through this project was the most valuable thing was probably the cost. It was the costing. And I even told, Chef Dickerson, I used it for, I had a meal prep client who randomly came in and I used it to prepare his stuff, and it helped me to really price out what my services should be, because otherwise I honestly would have had no clue. And it's really funny having been a business coach and teaching people this stuff and then doing it for myself in a completely new industry. When I was a coach, I knew how to price things. Now it's a new industry, and it made me realize how easy it is to really slip into complacency or just pricing things how you think, and you can lose a ton of money that way. So there's a few things that I want to look at moving forward. I want to look at making it more accessible and affordable. I want to look at incorporating CBD, which would probably help with accessibility. And I want to look at doing a little bit more of what Kyle and Heidi did, which was multi-purposing items instead of being, a little bit of a snob and needing everything to be so different. I need to figure out a better way to balance that and using the same ingredients, but maybe adding a twist to the flavor so it's a completely different dish.
Yeah, that was amazing. Thank you. Yeah, y'all have all blown me away so far. So great. Good job. Who wants to be next? Or let's see. Let me see if I can find my list.
I can go next, Chef. Is that fine?
Okay, go for it.
For some reason, it's not giving me the option to share my screen here on my.
No. Okay.
See.
You see the like green button towards the bottom of your screen?
The one that says share.
Yeah,
Yeah.
click that one and then click into the items you want to share.
There it goes. Can you see it?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to start with my PowerPoint presentation. So the name of my restaurant is Alicia's Grandkids. Alicia is my grandmother, so I always said that if I open up a restaurant, it was going to be after her name. I don't know why this shows up like that. Sorry. So the concept
If
of
you
my-
click on, go click on open with Google Slides
Oh,
up
yeah.
at the very top. And then hit present when it comes up. It might take a second.
Okay. All right. So, okay, my Alicia's Grandkids is the name of my restaurant. This is the logo right here.
Nice.
So the concept of my restaurant is a Venezuelan steakhouse, pop-up style. Basically, what I wanted to accomplish with this restaurant or my mission statement is that even though the Venezuelan cuisine is getting more and more popular across the world, there's not a lot of Venezuelan steakhouses. So I wanted to create one to kind of introduce that new idea of a steakhouse, because at least the steakhouses I have gone to have only been either the Japanese steakhouses or the American style steakhouses. So basically, I just wanted to switch it up and introduce a new idea of a steakhouse. The demographics I chose were younger people between the age of 19 and 30. Since it's a pop-up restaurant, my idea was something that I could basically do in across the country in numerous states and numerous cities in development with a lot of with a younger population. The style of service I chose was casual dining with a contemporary style. Um, I also wanted to, include the Venezuelan ambience and the Venezuelan decor in the restaurant, so it could feel more um, cultural and people could feel more identified with the type of restaurant they chose to go to. As far as menu, oh, sorry.
You know what? You might just want to just go back and just have it.
Yeah, right.
Just have it like that. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So for my menu, I have some items that that they serve in Venezuelan steakhouses regularly, like the fried mini arepas, which are basically cornmeal. It's like a cornmeal bread that is shaped into a small oval, and then it's fried. Over there, they serve them with filled with like a Venezuelan cream and some grated cheese. The meat platter, which is basically a cuts of different meats with a fried yuca and vegetables, which are onions and peppers, sauteed onions and peppers, and the stuffed avocado, which is basically half avocado with filled with a with guacamole and topped with grilled steak and queso fresco. On my main dishes, I have the oxtail soup, which is a slow braised oxtail Venezuelan style with some boiled yuca and capers. The rotisserie chicken, which is in this case in the menu, I listed it as rotisserie chicken only because over there they sell the sides separately. They only sell you the chicken and the grilled ribeye, which it's something very similar. I just listed the grilled ribeye, and the sides are the customer's preference. And the desserts, I have the BMS Abaque, which is basically a coconut cream cake that's very soft and fluffy with coconut icing. The quesillo, which is a very cheap dessert, but it's very Venezuelan, which is a flan with caramel topping, and the sweet coconut rice, which is slow cooked rice and coconut milk with coconut flakes and condensed milk. Um, for my recipes, okay. So, okay, so I have the meat platter right here. I don't know why this is being so slow. Sorry, Jeff.
No, you're fine. If it's not,
There's a
well,
share
oh,
from here.
there you go.
So here I have the fried mini arepas. The ingredients I have cornmeal. Pan cornmeal is a Venezuelan style cornmeal that is cooked, pre-cooked. The Venezuelan cream, the hard cheese, and this is how they should look like. I have the meat platter, which is the different cuts of meat with the fried yuca, some cheese, and some vegetables. This has Milanese steak. It has chicken, chorizo, and the blood sausage. Here's the soft avocado, which is topped with grilled steak and the queso fresco and some cilantro. Here's the rotisserie chicken that, basically the way I prepare the rotisserie chicken is in a brine for 24 hours that has salt, pepper, honey, sugar, thyme, garlic, and other spices. Here is the grilled ribeye, which is basically, which is just prepared with a house rub and grilled. The oxtail soup that is served with yuca, and the corn and the other vegetables are optional, but the way that it's actually served over there is with just yuca, capers, and topped with some cilantro. Here is the coconut cream filled cake. Here is the quesillo flan, which is basically just a very basic flan, and the reason is because it's only $2 on the menu is because it's very cheap to make. You basically only need eggs, sugar, and condensed milk, and just some vanilla. And here is the coconut, sweet coconut rice, which is cooked in coconut milk and has some, and it's stuffed with condensed milk and cinnamon.
Nice. Great job.
And for my costing, so I did it two different ways just to kind of practice two different ways. So in this case, I calculated the grams. I just divided the price of of how much it costed per pound. I divided it by 454, which is the 1 pound is about 454 grams. And then that was the price that I put right here. And once I wrote down the weight, it calculated. But on the coconut cake, I used other measurements in other units just to kind of switch it up. Instead of grams, I used kilograms. So basically what I did, just divide the cost of, for example, the baking powder, how much it costs per pound. I divided it by, I believe it was, um,
I was it two.
yes, I divided it by 454, and
Four,
then
five, four.
I just multiplied it by the amount that I used on each individual.
Gotcha.
So let me. So I have the other kind here again with the grams,
Nice.
and I use liters in this case just to also switch up the volume on some units. In this case, I only used whole milk. But on the coconut cake, I use egg whites. I use the egg white the prices. I didn't just take it from the egg pricing. But I also have whole milk, and I have light rum, and I have vanilla extract. Here I use liters because it was a smaller quantity. But here,
Nice.
for a larger quantity, but here I use milliliters because I only use 120 milliliters of light rum, and I didn't want to complicate myself too much with the
Gotcha.
calculations. But if you actually click on the price or the AP, you can actually see the whole decimal value of it.
Gotcha. You did a great job. Thank you.
Thank you, Chef.
Great job. Great job, man. Very, very good. Anybody else want to? Who else? Let me see my list real
Can
quick.
I go next, Chef?
Yeah, whoever said that, I didn't
All right.
see who it was.
It would be Courtney.
Yeah, go for it, Courtney.
All right, awesome. Wait. Okay. My restaurant is called Feed Your Chakra, where I am, of course, the owner and operator. A little bit about us: we are wanting to promote a healthy diet and introduce moderation to those who are not intrigued by nature's candy. The mission statement pretty much states, where there's a lack of health and wealth, we're here to feed your chakra to provide balance. Our goal is to provide a balanced experience with your meal and in a relaxed environment. The produce can range from local and imported goods, of course, because produce is seasonal.
So we'll of course have to change up the menu every few months or so, and that's just because we want to provide the freshest and the best fruit at their prime. We strive to provide the freshest ingredients, support local farmers, and introduce a new way of life by feeding your chakra. So this is just the dish pricing. After I typed in all of the calculations and I was provided the 30% difference, I set up a final price, and that's just kind of for the waste, for instance, like a lot of the bowls will include banana peels, and they'll include like little parts of fruit that will have to be discarded because they're not fresh or they're bruised or something. So that'll kind of be that waste yield that'll kind of fill in for that. So this is a
Nice.
look at the menu. It is kind of rainbow theme just to kind of go with the name, the chakra theme. Um,
You there?
it's a pineapple boat, and it's filled with pineapple, mango, cucumbers, and jicama. And we also have seasonal bowls. So we have the Boo Bowl that was inspired by Halloween, and also the Blood Moon Bowl. And then we have two desserts, paletas. And so we have a dulce de leche one and a sun and moon. So who are we for? Our demographics, that's going to be our millennials, because it's something that they like to post and put on Instagram, as well as the Generation Z. As well as far as the income, it's going to be it's a cheap menu. It's something that just about anybody can afford. Of course, if you're going to order more and more portions, it can get expensive. But for the most part, the most expensive item I believe is $14. Um, we are targeting vegans, vegetarians. We have pescatarian options, and just those who like to have a refreshing meal or a smoothie bowl here and there. It is a calm, meditative environment, so it's nothing that's too serious. You don't need to dress up or anything like that. So the concept or the geographics is I want this to be set up like a food truck, so we can travel between the beaches to the suburbs to the downtown area in Jacksonville. How our city is set up, a lot of the areas that have the millennials and the Generation Zs and the people who are, social media savvy, they're in those areas. So we want to be able to present those bowls to those people in those areas for, promotion of ourselves and just to kind of be in different parts of the city. And then also with the food truck, I actually found one, but I couldn't get the picture because it was sold, of a food.
I think I lost your audio.
I'm sorry.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Okay, so I wanted to show you all how the bowls look. So um, this would be the crown bowl, and it's just the purple color of that chakra level, and just kind of going down the menu, everything's gonna have that color as the wording on the menu. So you have the blue summer bowl, um, the baby boo blank banger, and then getting into the actual food. So this is the orzo shrimp salad, and it has a lemon dressing. This is gonna be the mango cucumber salad, but that's gonna of course be in a pineapple boat, and that's gonna be something that'll be prepared in front of the customer, something kind of cool for them to watch. That's gonna be one of our seasonal bowls, so that's gonna be the Boo Bowl, um, the Blood Moon Bowl, just something, something
Nice.
for the holidays. And then our paletas, so that's gonna be the dulce de leche, and then this one is gonna be the sun and moon bowl. So it'll be a chocolate Oreo on one side and then a golden Oreo on the other side, just to kind of provide that spiritual balance between night and day. And then as far as like the costing list, for instance, with the let's say with the prolific, because it is 8 serve.
I think we lost your voice again.
That money back, but I did it for $2. Again, that's just for with milk, it can go bad. With heavy cream, it has an expiration date. So when it comes to throwing stuff away, I want to make sure I can kind of comp that. And also labor too, because that is something that is going to be made based on projections. And that is it. Thank you.
Great job. Good job.
Thanks.
Who wants to go next?
I can go next.
All right. Awesome.
Let's see here. You know,
Go down to
I'm
the
not
share bar, or it's a green.
here, but it only gives me, I'm doing this from my iPad, so it's only giving me a couple of options.
Oh, okay.
I
Did
might
you
need-
send it to? Did you send it to me?
I-
If you did.
some of it. Not everything. I did.
Okay.
I think I don't think I sent you my costing sheet yet, and then the menu that I sent you wasn't updated with the
Oh, okay.
current price.
you
No,
wanna-
Give me just.
Yeah. Guys, y'all want to take like 10 minute break real quick, and while you're working on that?
That
Or
works.
do you? All right, let's say 5 minute break. Come back in like 5 minutes at 7:05. Cool.
Yes, chef.
Cool.
Chef,
Yes.
I do have to go to work. Is it okay if I come back later and watch everyone else's presentation?
Who is this?
That's Courtney.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. That's fine. Have a great day.
You too. And good job, everybody. Everything looks great.
Yeah.
You too.
Thank
Courtney.
you. Good job, Courtney. Have a good day.
Oh yeah, Shauna, are you there? All right. So I was gonna tell you, I don't know if you can hear me or not, but if you can hear me, I think your concept is actually really interesting. I'm from California where weed is more legal. So they actually have like some kind of places that are similar to that, but not as high end. So it was kind of interesting to see that concept.
There's one chef out there, I think, Erica Hoffman. I'm obsessed with her work, and I think she actually opened the first cafe. So what I'm hoping is to become more involved in like the political activism side and helping Texas, because I really do believe this can, especially after the pandemic, I think it can help us with rebuilding economically. So I'm hoping to, I don't want to leave my home, but I'll have to like travel for production for now or go underground, but I'm not saying that here. Chef has no knowledge. Nothing is happening.
That's funny.
I hear nothing. I hear
mean,
nothing.
If you go to Oregon, I know it's like super legal there because one of my friends is from there and she's always telling me about it.
Oregon, I
So-
think, actually just voted on legalizing like everything. So that wow.
I mean, you can do your research there, I guess. What's one drug to another?
Yeah, I think for now I know a couple other chefs who are traveling chefs. I think one thing like part of why I wanted to join culinary school is because I might know a lot about plant medicine, but I like my plating is trash. I'll be the first to admit it. And if it's gonna be expensive like this, it can't be home cooked plated. It's gotta be beautiful. So fingers crossed. But I also really loved your idea, Heidi. I thought the 1920s, I would love to go to a costume party at a bar like that. Like it was so cute.
Yeah, I liked it.
Thank you. I'm actually gonna have a dress code. So, and my waitresses I'm hoping to have like a flappers kind of outfit. And of course, waitresses that don't want to dress in dresses can also dress in like suits. I don't want to be like exclusive to my workers. But my goal is to have kind of like flapper girls and like old timey suits for like my bartenders and stuff like that.
I love it. I think especially right now, like the call for nostalgia and reconnection like that and smaller gatherings is so important.
Well, I think it's
Totally.
actually really interesting because if you look at the 1920s and like the way the US was going, you had like this big prohibition movement and you had a lot of secret rebellion. I mean, it kind of even has parallels to today's. Like, we have a lot of all kinds of crazy stuff going on with politics. And I think it's kind of interesting to see the parallels from 1920 to 2020.
It's a really 100-year cycle that we're in. And the one thing that I really love about food, like I'm excited for us to get into the food history class whenever that happens, because it's really, food is so representative of where we are, like as a culture, society, and just history. Like I am obsessed with that kind of nerdy stuff. But that's why, especially like that you use the language that you did, that you use dishes from the 20s. I would so go to experience something authentic like that.
Well, I appreciate the knowledge. I can't say that I would go to yours because I can't afford to go to yours, to be honest with you.
I'm gonna fix that.
But I'm also a little bit of a stick in the mud for that kind of stuff, so I probably wouldn't go anyway. But the food itself looked great. I just probably would want to eat cannabis.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll figure it out. I might do I also can do non-infusions that are probably a lot more affordable.
I mean, I know a lot of people, like even in Texas where it's not legal, that would be totally down to go to that kind of place. As I said, my friend is originally from Oregon and she's here right now because her husband's stationed here. And I'm sure that like she would love to go to that kind of place. There's definitely a market for it. It's definitely something that's untapped. And of course, like at the same time, like it is very unique because as I said, I'm from California originally. I'm like, an expat from California because now I'm here for good. But yeah, there's definitely a big market for it because in California, they have like edibles and stuff like that, but they really don't have like big fancy tasting menus. So it's definitely an untapped market, especially going forward because the age range of people using that kind of stuff is going higher up. So you'll get more people in that age range, your target range that you're hoping for.
For sure. I've definitely I've noticed that there are a lot of people use it with junk food or they make brownies and everything, but because I have an autoimmune disease, that's really not an option for me. And I honestly, when you heat it up, I'm not talking about smoke, I'm really talking about the plant as a spice. Each strain has a different terpene profile, and terpenes are the things that give like lemons their flavor. It's like the basic essential components that give spices and citruses their flavors, and it's amazing how it's like opening a whole new culinary world. So, and I really appreciate the encouragement, Heidi, because honestly it is kind of really scary doing something that's unproven. But I am hoping like to be ahead of the trend and ahead of the curve, or at least catch up with what's going on in Colorado, California, and Oregon. So, and you know, now maybe New Jersey, so I can travel and do and change the way that we look at the plant. It would just be, that would just be a dream come true.
I feel like there's actually a TV show that you might really enjoy. Since you mentioned Top Chef already, they actually have like a whole TV show, and I think it's actually on Netflix. And it's totally about like cooking with weed. I haven't watched it myself, but I'm always getting recommendations for it. So I'm sure you might enjoy it because they cook a lot of that savory food that you're looking for rather than the typical like weed brownies and weed cookies and weed this. Like
Yeah,
dessert.
I've seen that. I love that show. And then it's between that one or like if they did that with Chef's Table version, I would probably be obsessed.
That would be super cool.
I mean,
Chef's Table is like really good. It's got like really good ingredients, like super high end. It's kind of reminiscent of like your quail eggs on your menu and like the really high end, like fancy, like indulgent items.
Thank you. I love Chef's Table. I like anytime I start feeling, because jumping to culinary was a big jump for me like this summer. It was like a big complete career shift. And so whenever I'm like, and I don't know anybody else who's listening, if you're like, if you ever are having any kind of self-doubt, I highly recommend turn on Chef's Table, because like just hearing the stories and experiences of other chefs or seeing their artistry, especially and how different each one is and what everybody brings to the table is, it's so, I don't know. I'm a Cancer. I get emotional about that stuff. I don't know. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, it seems like the trends for them is that they're always like, you know, when they're talking about starting the restaurant, that type of thing, they're always like 3, 4, sometimes even 5 years deep before they actually start to have some sort of success. So I think I get exactly what you mean. Like it really takes time and someone has to notice that you're doing something different. You're bringing something different to the table. So
Yeah.
I think your business could like, I lived in California for a couple of years. Like it could definitely work out there. I'm from New Jersey, and if you're in the right area, like maybe like a downtown Newark area, some or Jersey City, someplace that's not too far from the border of Manhattan, I think
Yeah.
that'd be a great place for you to do something like that because there's a lot of money in those areas, and a lot of people will be willing to like actually come out and spend. So don't sell yourself short on your pricing either, because you're providing a product that not too many people have. So it is going to be really expensive in the beginning, especially until like prices start to normalize and regulate. So, you know, like Tesla didn't come out and say, we can't sell cars because we're not selling them for $30,000. They're like, no, we're bringing the best to the market. So everything's going to start at like $100,000. And then again, as time progresses, those prices fall. Because, you know,
I love that line of thinking, Roy, because I do kind of like, if at some point I really do think like all 50 states will legalize, and then we'll see the market prices normalize for the crop. But and when that does happen, everybody's going to jump in. So but the one thing that I'm kind of banking on is like I know the terpenes, the different flavor, like I care about the flavor profiles of the plant, where like I don't think a lot of people who are cooking with it are paying attention to that. They just are looking at the psychotropic effects. Like they just want to get high. Let's be, you know.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed. But thank you guys so much. I'm so glad that y'all love the concept, and I really appreciate the encouragement, because I'm a single mom. So jumping ship from my stable income in the middle of a pandemic was like, woo, but I'm hopeful.
I think you've got that passion, and it sounds like the whole, this whole class has a lot of passion, and I think that passion will drive you into being successful for sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna miss this class. I'm kind of sad that we're gonna be split up into new classes.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get each other's like information before we go separate ways.
Yeah.
Are we splitting into different classes? I was kind of getting the feeling that I feel like if you're in the 6 a.m. class, you're probably staying in the 6 a.m. class with all the same people. I don't know if you guys are taking CU 101 or something.
Is everybody, I think the next class is CU 101.
Not me.
Oh, no?
So I graduated from the diploma program in 2012. They didn't offer a
Oh,
degree then. So I just have like, I think 5 or 6 classes total to take.
oh, gotcha.
That
Wow.
makes sense. Well, we're gonna miss you, Delandra.
It's been fun.
Yeah. Were you able to get your stuff set up?
I think I got it together. I
Okay.
think so.
Yeah, go
I'll
for
be
it.
honest, because I'm using this Chromebook and I am I'm definitely an Apple person. So I'm
No
struggling
worries.
with it.
Do
Hopefully I
do
get it
do
together
what you
enough
can.
to present. Okay, so let's can y'all can hear me okay?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. All
I
right.
see it. Good job.
Okay. So this is my menu for my bakery. Like I said, I graduated from the diploma program back in 2012. I've mostly worked as a pastry chef since then, at a couple of different restaurants, both in Austin and here in Atlanta, where I currently live. I do have my own business on the side. So all the recipes that I have are already tried and tested out. I went with a cupcake dessert bakery theme. And I want to do a lot of cupcakes along with cake pops, macarons, and some other offerings. I'll have fixed standard offerings, but my specialty offerings will be alcohol infused, hence the name Boozy Bakery. I like doing a lot of alcohol infused stuff, and that's the thing that I feel like I get the best feedback on. So that's what I wanted to focus on.
Nice.
So we've got our infused items here first. Our amaretto cupcake, that is my top seller, hands down. The Kentucky bourbon cream, it's a sponge cake infused with bourbon as well as bourbon soaked pecans, a bourbon cream cheese icing. We've got a Guinness dark chocolate that I tested out around St. Patrick's Day, and I got really good feedback on that. Tiramisu cupcake, because of course with tiramisu you usually have that Kahlua in there, and then the champagne toast, which is one I came up with around New Year's one year, that also got really good reception. Of course, I'll have some non-alcoholic options. Mom's red velvet is actually my mother's classic red velvet recipe that I've been using for years. Got a decadent double chocolate cupcake because I am hands down a chocolate lover all day. We've got a vanilla bean cupcake because you've just got to have that classic vanilla. And then for my cookies, cake pops, and more, I've just got a couple of different options on here. I didn't price out all of the options that I have on this menu, but this is a good idea of what the general offering will look like. So Oreo cake pops, again, my most popular cake pop. It's also the easiest one to make, which is why I usually do it. And who doesn't love Oreos? We've got brown butter, dark chocolate chip cookies, lemon French macaroons with a blueberry ganache, almond espresso toffee. Now, this particular recipe, I usually use more as a garnish or as an element of another dessert, but in a bakery, it's something that I think is good enough to stand on its own. I'll also have creme brulee, which is probably my favorite dessert to both make and eat. And this one has a nice little kick from the brandy in it. And then what I went for right now is my seasonal cake by the slice was carrot cake.
Nice.
Now,
And
for
what you said you have a facility, like a restaurant or a place in Atlanta?
No, I used to be the head pastry chef at a restaurant here. I haven't been working in a restaurant since the pandemic, but I do my own. I have a business on the side where I do deliveries and pickups.
Gotcha.
So I
Okay.
still do wedding cakes, birthday cakes, and everything like that right now.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay.
So for each of my recipes I've got on here, I priced it a little above what the price is in the costing sheet, just because I know that some of the ingredients that I'll be using will be a different quality. Since this, the costing sheet that we had with the prices, I know for sure some of the ingredients I'll be using will definitely be pricier. So I wanted to kind of give myself a little padding for that. Um, but I've got the Oreo cake pops. Like I said, this is a super simple recipe. It comes together with Oreos, cream cheese, and then white chocolate or whatever confectioner's coating that you'd like to use. I've got, let's see. Then the amaretto cupcake. Which is something I kind of came up with on a flu one day. I was making a yellow cupcake and my friend had a bottle of amaretto sitting there and I just wondered, what happens if I just pour some of this in the batter and in the
Nice.
icing? And like I said, it turned out to be one of my most popular desserts.
Nice. Thank you.
Wrong one.
You might need to stop sharing and then share again because it's still on the menu.
You said it's still on the menu?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
But it's okay if you can't.
Because I was definitely going through the
It's okay.
okay. Let's see.
There you go.
All right, so those are the cake pops, what they usually end up
Oh,
looking
yeah.
like.
I like that.
Then the amaretto cupcakes.
Oh, nice. Those look great.
All of the pictures are stuff I actually made. Macarons are probably one of my favorites.
Oh, those are nice.
And I have my costing sheets here. I won't go through every single one, but I have my costing sheets here.
Nice.
And like I said, I did price it a little bit above the cost that I got on here, just to give myself some room for, loss of ingredients and things like that. I didn't want to do different prices for each cupcake, so I basically just picked one price for all of my infused cupcakes and then one price for all of my cupcakes that are not infused with alcohol, just so that I can have standard pricing across the board.
Nice. Great job.
And then what I specifically did for my cakes and cupcakes, I wrote out my icing recipes separately because I'll be using these icings in more than one recipe. So instead of having to write it out for each individual one, I wrote it out as just one big batch, and then kind of scaled that down to 1 pound increments. And then that's the cost that I put into each recipe that I use that for.
Nice.
So for the cream cheese icing for this particular recipe, for the Kentucky, what is this? The carrot cake recipe would be approximately 2 pounds.
Gotcha. Great
And
job.
Here we go.
Good job. All right. Let's see who wants to go next. Let's see. We had, who's it?
Yeah, I'll go next.
Okay.
It's Amy.
Great. Thanks. Thanks, Amy.
Okay, so
Silver Nice.
so my establishment or my business is the Silver Dollar Snack Bar. And the reason or the way I come up with this idea is my friend bought a bar actually like 2 weeks before we went into total shutdown. So
Oh.
he was really excited to get it going, and it was just like a spur of the moment thing for him. But he sunk in a whole bunch of money, and then they said, okay, we're gonna shut down. So he's like, oh wow, what am I gonna do? And then along with all the changes, coming with the pandemic, of course the bar shut down. And here in El Paso, we're still shut down. Um, so a lot of the small businesses and stuff like that have been scrambling to try to find, a loophole or a way to open or something like that. And a lot of the bars in town are getting that. It's like a restaurant certificate. So as long as they serve food, they can open up. And he's still waiting on a bunch of insurances and stuff like that. But I told him about the idea, and he's like, "Yeah, let's do it. I love it. Let's go for it."
That's awesome.
So, jumping into it, I've never done anything like this, so I figured try to make it like as seamless or easy as possible to just get into it, not like take a huge jump and sink a lot of money into it, just in case, obviously I've never done it. So that's one thing. And then the second thing is, we don't know what the economy is or what the rules and stuff is going to happen. Like they actually tried to close down sit-in dining here again, but it's like a big old fiasco going on. So it's all uncertain right now. So my Silver Dollar Snack Bar is going to be inside of his bar. We would like to do that.
Oh, that's awesome.
So the concept is located inside the Silver Dollar Bar, great food in a great classic bar. The Silver Dollar Bar has been a staple of El Paso Northeast for almost 50 years. It's been there, different owners come and go, but everybody loves that bar in that area. It's like a little, almost like, well, it's a hole in the wall, but it's a neighborhood bar, so people go in. So I talked to him about the snack bar, and he said, yeah, it's exciting. Let's do it. And it's like kind of a sort of little ranching community, so people actually will drive their horse to the bar, tie it
Oh,
up,
no
and go
way.
inside for a drink. Yeah.
Oh,
It's-
that's
it's-
awesome.
Yeah. But also in the area, there's a lot of like new developments because it's kind of wide open land, in like further up. It's like almost at the tip of New Mexico and Texas.
Huh,
So
gotcha.
it's a lot of open spaces and stuff like that. There's new
Mm-hmm.
developments, and a lot of college kids from the University UTEP, um, they're starting to settle there because it's cheap, you know.
Gotcha.
It's brand new, and then they're starting to build up a lot of like I don't know, like popular places for them to go. So they're attracted to go there. So that's the demographic for like the nightlife. During the day, it's still like the same old folks that go there, but at night, it's kind of a little bit of a different life or whatever. So
Nice.
I wanted to keep the same, you know, like cowboys and um, that kind of feeling, like Western sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But also give, you know, the young kids kind of something to look forward to.
Nice.
My menu is gonna be
Can you put it to the menu?
oh okay. I think I have
The
to stop
four?
sharing.
No, it's the fourth slide, right? You're on. You just need to change the slides to the. Because isn't that your menu right there? Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
My menu, like I said, I wanted to keep it like Western feeling, like old country, you know, ranch style looking. So that's why it has the rusted side of the edge, you know. It's gonna be a bar menu, so it's just, you know, double sided, simple on the front, just the logo. And the reason for the flying pig is because a lot of my dishes are pork, like pork based. Um,
Gotcha.
got the pulled pork nachos. The main thing, you know, it's highlighted right here is the pulled pork sandwich. Um, it doesn't cost a lot to make a big old batch of pulled pork,
Can you
but
click
you
on
could
present real quick?
present.
Yeah, just where your that cursor is. Yeah, right there, just so I can see it a little bit bigger. Sorry, it'll come up after
Did
you
it work?
click on it. If you click on it.
Oh, I did.
Oh, okay. Oh, maybe
Uh,
it's not. All right, then never mind. Don't worry about it. I'll make it larger on my side. Just keep going. My
okay.
apologies.
Yeah, the pulled pork sandwich, like I said, it doesn't cost a lot to make a whole big old batch of pulled pork, and um, but people really like it in the area. You know, it's a it's a popular dish. So there's a lot of barbecue places and stuff in the area. So that's one of the main things that I want to sell. It's
Nice.
good and it's cheap, and you know you can have different sides and stuff with it. The pulled pork nachos, I wanted to use a lot of the same ingredients in my menu, like cross utilize, you know, pork for the sandwich, pork for the nachos, and I also make a big whole batch of chili because you know cowboys, ranchers out on the range or whatever, they ate a lot of chili because it was, you know, really easy for them to make. So the only difference between regular chili, which would be like Texas chili or whatever, and mine is I'm gonna use pork, ground pork. Um, I actually went and I made every single thing on this menu.
Oh,
I
wow.
actually bought all the ingredients and cooked everything just because I thought it would be fun.
That's awesome.
And I
That's
went and
awesome.
I had people try it out and stuff like that, and it was really good. So people liked it.
That's great.
Like I said, also in cross utilizing the ingredients, I have the, you know, pulled pork chili beans bowl because it's hearty and you know people will like that. Um, with that same chili, I use for Frito pie. I don't know if everybody knows. I'm pretty sure everybody knows what Frito pie
Yep.
is. You know, just the Fritos and stuff. And my second base recipe is the pico de gallo with queso. It's a really good mix, and a lot of people ask me how does that work because they think doesn't the vinegar curdle the cheese or the milk or whatever, but it works and it's really good flavor. So you know, on the pico de queso will go on the nachos, the Frito pie, the chili fries. I also have a chili dog, but I don't know why I didn't put it in the menu. And then
Gotcha.
just to add a sweet thing, I have the old fashioned apple pie. That would probably be also something that, ranchers out on, their whatever they're doing. It's something easy to make. Just, apples, brown sugar, cinnamon, and a pastry. And
Nice.
trying to see if I can get my costume. I don't know. Okay, my costume. Is it up?
Yep.
Okay, like I was saying, the pico de gallo is a base recipe, so I had to cost it out and see how much is going to go. Because I'm also gonna do like the chips and dip type thing, just a real quick snack for the bar. Um, but it also goes into the pico queso, so I had to cost out how much a portion of it is gonna, be, and then also that goes into the separate dishes like the over the nachos and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I also costed out what the big old pot of chili would cost, which I cannot find right now.
No,
Oh,
that's
there it is.
fine.
Like the chili beans, it's like
Mhm.
41 cents to just put it on there.
Yep.
Um,
Well, thank you.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. You did a great job.
Thank you.
Who wants to go next? And if it's not your day and you want to go for it. Anybody else? All right, we had a few people that didn't that needed a little extra time. So tomorrow we will have. Is there anybody that wants to do it before we finish today?
I'll go, Chef.
All right, go for it. Oh,
All right, so this is Orange Wave, my Australian high-end restaurant. Our mission statement is to bring relaxation and that you are home. My demographic is to people who are stressed out in LA, mostly people who work in businesses, 30 to 35-year-olds. This is my menu here, the appetizers and entrees. We have prawns and fritters, which is grilled prawns fresh off the barbie with crunchy potato fritters. Aussie mince pie, which is a warm Moorish pie with a flaky top pastry and a deep gravy center. Fair dinkum burger, which is a burger jam-packed with crispy bacon, succulent pineapple, a gooey egg, a tender beetroot, and all of that is customizable depending on how you want it.
nice.
Flake and chips, which is like fish and chips. It's crispy, fresh made chips with a hand battered flake, which will flake apart in your mouth. Steak and veg, which is steak prepared how you would like with veg of the month, finished with a balsamic reduction. Rainbow trout and veg, which
that
is
sounds good.
fresh, crisp, skin, flaky trout with sauteed shallots, baby carrots, and Brussels sprouts. And then I have a dessert menu that's separate, which is going to be pavlova, pineapple fritters, and hokey pokey ice cream. Pavlova is a beautiful baked meringue with fresh berries and delicious kiwi on top. Pineapple fritters are crunchy battered pineapple tossed with turbinado sugar. And then hokey pokey ice cream is creamy house-made ice cream with pieces of delectable honeycomb inside and on top.
That sounds delicious.
And then this is my menu. I don't have any pictures because I still have to
That's fine.
them and take them.
It's all good. Nice.
And then all of my costing sheets came out really, really high. For like one serving was $20, and I'm not sure why.
Hmm. I'll look at that.
Yeah. But they all came out pretty high, so I decided to go high-end dining.
Oh, that's fun.
Probably you might need to double check the formula for the menu price.
Yeah, I'll look at that.
For sure.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Is there anybody else that wants to go today? All right, then that's it, guys. Then tomorrow we will finish it out. Tomorrow will be the last day of class, and we will be done. Please make sure you let me talk about, and I'm giving you a freebie. The freebie is the test. You don't have to take the written exam. I can't get it. We can't get it working for some reason. There's some sort of issue. So you do not need to take that cumulative written exam. So y'all lucked out. Yeah. So you don't need to worry about that. The only thing you need to do is just make sure you have your project ready for tomorrow. And we've just got to bang out a couple extra, I think 2 extra tomorrow. And other than that, that is it. Questions, problems, concerns, issues? We good?
Do we have to send the project now on the portal as well, or we don't?
No, you don't need to upload it on the portal.
Okay.
You know, I just want it, you know, if you present it or any of, and just make sure you send it to me. That's it.
Okay. And also, does that discussion from week 5, is it?
That's a freebie as well.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Chef, can you hear me okay?
I can.
Okay,
I can hear you.
one thing, I did see that we had there was like a discussion I missed, like in week 4 about the Ristorante needing help. Can I get that done today?
Yeah.
Okay, so just get all the check marks done today.
Yeah, I mean, what I have to have all grades put in by Friday by midnight. So as long as I have it done by Friday, you know, I'm a happy camper.
Okay, sounds good. I think I only have that and then just finishing out this week.
Yeah. No, that's it. Cool.
All right, thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Everybody good?
I also have a question about one of the discussions. I did
Yes,
it,
ma'am.
but I didn't get a grade for it. I don't remember exactly which one. I think it was like demographic. No, I don't know.
Demographics. All right, I'll
I
look
think
at
it was week 4 or something like that.
I'll look at the discussions. We were having some issues with the discussions.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I will make sure that you get credit for that.
Thank you, Chef.
Of course, Amy. Any other questions?
Hey, Chef. So I don't know if you remember, you probably do, but tomorrow I actually have drill with the National
Yep.
Guard, and I don't want to miss out on class participation. So when I have like my lunch break or something, I'll try and
You know what?
watch it.
Hey, don't. I mean, you're it is what it is. You got to do the military thing. So it is what it is. Just go. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this class. And I can't wait to actually meet you in person. So don't worry. Don't worry about coming back tomorrow. You just go take care of what you need to take care of, and then I'll take care of you for your attendance tomorrow.
Yes, Chef. And then my other question was, I know you had mentioned before extra credit opportunities. So I wanted to make sure that I took advantage of any that are available.
Yeah, for your doing the survey, you get 5 extra points, and then if you for your project, for sure, you're going to be getting extra points for that as well.
And then did you get my email? I tried to send you proof that I finished the survey.
Yes, I got it. I just haven't put any of the those kinds of grades in just quite yet. But I will put in the extra credit point once I get, it'll probably be tomorrow before I put it in all. Because I'm just waiting for everybody whoever is going to do it so I can just put it in once instead of put it in a bunch of times.
Yeah, Chef. And then final question, I swear I asked a ton of questions. I apologize.
When
we do go back to finally being in person again,
yes.
Do you offer any mentorship
yes, of course.
programs or something? If I could
yes.
use you as my mentor?
Of course. Anytime. I will stay there, help you do whatever you need. You pay my salary, guys. I mean that's it. No matter if you're in my class or you're not, you still pay my salary. So you put food on my table, you clothe my 2 daughters. So whatever it is I can do, I will do. So for sure, I will be there for you.
I appreciate it so much, Chef.
Yeah, of course. And everybody keep my cell phone number, keep my number. I'm going to be around. I'm in this job for the long haul. So, don't lose my number. All right. All right, so I will see y'all tomorrow, except Heidi. Everybody else, I will see you tomorrow. Sound good?
Yep.
Beautiful, guys. All right, Heidi, it was so nice to have you in class. Take care, and I'll see you when I see you.
Thank you, Chef. You too.
All right, guys, I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Bye, Chef.
Bye.
Thank y'all. Bye, guys. Y'all have a great morning.